It's Women's Olympic Soccer Match Day 3 in the group stage on Wednesday, July 31st. We have all 12 teams fighting to advance to the knockout rounds. Now let's break down each of the 6 games in this video. So far, the women's soccer picks have been rolling, going 4-2 on Match Day 1 and the parlay 1-0, and on Match Day 2, 5-1 and the parlay 2-0. So we'll try to keep it rolling here on Match Day 3, and if you want more women's soccer picks and picks in other soccer leagues, you know what to do. Give the video a like and subscribe to the channel to get more. Game number 1 to break down on Wednesday. Let's look at Japan and Nigeria. It's Group B kicking off at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. And this has been one of the tightest groups. We have Spain leading with 6 points, followed by Japan with 3, Brazil with 3, and Nigeria with 0. For Japan, on Match Day 2, they had a chance to take a lead into the half versus Brazil, but they had a penalty kick saved in first half stoppage time. Brazil would finally break through with a goal from Jennifer in the 56th minute with a shot from the top of the box, and it looked like that would be it for the scoring until Japan struck twice late in the game with a second PK attempt in second half stoppage time. That was converted in the 92nd minute, and it was looking like our pick for a draw or the under was going to be good, but Japan added another, lobbing it over the Brazil keeper a few minutes later in the 96th minute to get the 2-1 win for Japan. Japan lost 2-1 to Spain on Match Day 1. Over to Nigeria, their last game against Spain, Spain led 10-1 in attempts and 5-1 in shots on target, but neither team could score in the first half. On Match Day 2 between Nigeria and Spain, Salma Paralilo broke through, knocking across into the box, deflected that one in. It looked like it was a goal, but it was called back from VAR for the offside. Spain continued to attack, continued to pile up the chances and the pressure all game, but not until late did they finally score off of a free kick from Alexia Putellas in the top right corner of the net in the 85th minute to get the 1-0 win. So it's a 1-0 loss to Brazil and a 1-0 loss to Spain for Nigeria so far. Head-to-head, the only recent meeting was a 2-0 friendly win by Japan in 2022. Japan is 3-0-1 all-time versus Nigeria. Now, Japan overall, they're 6-1-4 in their last 11, but they had won 10 straight before that. They've only once in 27 games has Japan not found the back of the net, so they're usually good to get a goal. Bets on the over have been cashing in Japan games at 6-2 in their last 8. But then we have a conflicting stats, the complete opposite for Nigeria. Their games are often tight. The under 2.5 has gone 6-0 and 10-4 in their last 14. Nigeria has not allowed more than 1 goal in any game in any of their last 12, and only 1 time in their last 19. Both sitting fourth in Group C here. Nigeria with 0 points. They will need to go for the win here, and they can't sit back like they usually do. Still, I'm going to bet on a low-scoring game here. Let's go under 2.5 at -115 between Japan and Nigeria in women's soccer. Now, the next game we'll look at here is Brazil and Spain, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday for Brazil. They beat Nigeria 1-0 on Match Day 1. They were moments away from beating Japan by the same score on Match Day 2. But a PK goal in the 92nd minute and then another goal in the 96th minute saw Japan fight back for an unlikely 2-1 win. Brazil are 10-0-3 in their last 13. They've scored in all but one of those games as well, that being a 1-0 loss to USA. For Spain, they topped Japan 2-1 on Match Day 1, and they just edged past Nigeria 1-0 on Match Day 2. The scoreline will certainly show a tight score, but Spain dominated from start to finish, and they didn't break through until late in the game from an Alexia Putellas free kick in the 85th minute. The final stats in that game: possession 68% for Spain, shots 23-3 Spain, shots on target 8-1 for Spain, the corners 15-1 Spain, dangerous attacks 150-30, obviously for Spain, and the XG 2.57 to just 0.42, again, obviously for Spain. In 2024, Spain is 9-0-1. They've outscored opponents 26-5 in all competitions. And if you go further back, they only have 4 losses now in their last 37 games, being 32-1-4. In their last 13 games, they've scored multiple goals in 11 of them, and they've won by multiple goals in 8 of 13. Head-to-head, there's been 4 all-time meetings. We had a 1-1 draw in 2022, that being a friendly, 2-1 for Spain in a 2019 friendly, 2-1 Brazil in a 2017 friendly, and a 1-0 Brazil win way back in 2015 in the World Cup. This game is more important for Brazil, who are not guaranteed to advance, sitting in 3rd place right now, but Spain are one of the best teams, if not the best team in the world right now. Let's bet on goals coming from both teams between Brazil and Spain in our women's soccer prediction here. Both teams to score will come in at -110 for that best bet. And next up, we have Zambia and Germany at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Now, in last round for Zambia, they got on the board early playing Australia on match day 2, with Barbra Banda scoring just 1 minute into the game. Then the Matildas leveled soon after, just a few minutes later in the 7th minute. It was Zambia striking again in the first half, with the world's most expensive female player, Rachel Kunanaji, scoring in the 21st minute. Then it was Banda again with a brace in the 33rd. The first half scoring wasn't done, with Haley Rasso of Real Madrid heading in a goal in the 35th. Now we're at 3-2. Then it's first half stoppage time. Banda getting her 3rd career Olympics hat-trick. We're at 4-2 Zambia. Even after 6 goals in the first half, the scoring was not over. Zambia made it 5-2 with a second from Kunanaji, and then Australia pulled one back to make it 5-3 off of a Zambia own goal, and then another to cut it to 5-4. But that goal got called back for keeper interference, back to 5-3, but it did not matter. Australia scored off a free kick minutes later from Steph Catley from a huge gap from the Zambian keeper as the ball went straight through her hands. And the goals just kept coming, with Catley getting her 2nd goal of the game from a PK, with just 12 minutes left in the game. We're at 5-5 now, and the Matildas kept coming, scoring a 6th in the 90th minute from Michelle Heyman, assisted by Catley to take a 6-5 lead and the win. The most goals ever in a women's Olympic game was 13, and this game had 11. A devastating loss for Zambia leaves them 4th in Group B with 0 points, a -4 goal differential. They will simply need to go all out and attack again in this game and hope for a better defensive effort. They'll meet Germany on match day 2 versus the USA. USA scored early, but Germany responded quickly to draw at 1-1. From then on, it was all USA, who went on to win 4-1. Captain Alexander Popp could miss out here. She was subbed out with a knee injury last game. Head-to-head between Zambia and Germany, there's only ever been one meeting, and the result might shock you. It may have just been a friendly, but Zambia did defeat Germany 3-2 last summer. This looks like a game, for me, prime for more goals between these teams again. If we look at some over-under stats here, Zambia, they have lost 3-0 and 6-5 so far in this tournament. The Copper Queens are 10-3-4 in their past 17, but just 1-2-3 in their past 5. They've scored in 14 of those 17 games as well. Now, Germany in this tournament has won 3-0 and lost 4-1. They've won 8 of 10, outscoring opponents 23-12 in that time. They have conceded a goal in 6 of 8 games, which makes both teams to score bets 6-2. In their past 15 games, they have just 3 losses, coming against USA, Iceland, and France, and they've scored in 13 of 15. The over 2.5 has gone 8-0 in recent Germany games. All the stats seem to point to a high-scoring games here, and the odds makers have certainly caught on. The over 2.5 is at an incredible -450, so we're definitely expecting to see at least 3 goals in this game. Even over 3.5 is -175 in the odds. So a few different options in the bets. We could go Germany to win and score over 2 goals. That might be a good parlay piece, -240. Germany to win and score over 3 goals. That would come in at even money. That's an option. Or maybe Germany to win and both teams to score, since Zambia have some very dangerous attacking weapons that they need to attack. That would get us into some better plus money at +137. To me, this game also just has a great parlay potential. Anything with goals, anything with Germany in a parlay. Even Germany to score over 2.5 goals just by itself is -250. You could throw that into something if you wanted. Let's make the best bet between Zambia and Germany. Germany to win and both teams to score at +137. Another game on Wednesday in women's Olympic soccer. Match day 3 action is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Time between Australia and USA. Now for Australia, Zambia's star forwards dominated versus Australia on match day 2. Barbra Banda had a hat-trick and Rachel Kunanaji had a brace, but it wasn't enough. How? Well, the Matildas scored 6 goals of their own, fighting back from a 5-2 deficit, scoring the winner in the 90th minute for a 6-5 win, leaving them 3rd in Group B. Steph Catley had 2 goals, 2 assists last game, so she could be worth a look in some player props in this game if you wanted to look that way. Australia is 5-1 and 2-8, but 2 of those wins came against Uzbekistan. They've now lost 2 of their last 3. They've also allowed goals of 6, 3, and 2 in their past 3 games. They'll face USA here. USA got on the board early versus Germany last round, scoring the 11th minute from Sophia Smith. Didn't take Germany long, though, to level. They got a low strike from way outside the box, going into the net in the 22nd minute to get the score at 1-1. But it was USA to get quick, to take the lead back quickly, with Rodman's shot being stopped, but going right into the path of Swanson to put in the rebound. Sophia Smith added a 3rd, her 2nd of the game late in the first half, off of a deflection to give USA a 3-1 lead at the break. They would add a 4th late in the game from Lynn Williams in the 89th minute to win 4-1, and they sit right now 1st in Group B. Head-to-head between Australia and USA. USA has historically dominated the Matildas, being 11-4-1, but if we look more recently, they're 3-3-1. That one Australia win, though, did come way back in 2017. In 2021 friendlies, it was 1-1 and 3-0 USA. In the 2021 Olympics, it was 0-0 and 4-3 USA. Now, Zambia may have two of the top strikers in the world, but USA is arguably the best team in the world. Maybe, and if you don't want to say the best team, maybe one of the top 2 or 3 best in the world overall. Australia's only chance here that I see without Sam Kerr in the lineup is if USA, knowing they are through, take their foot off the gas, but they're still going to want to go and lock up first place in this group. The way Australia has been leaking goals, even a slightly rotated USA side could still net a couple goals and get the win. If you just wanted to be simple and ask for USA to score 2 goals by itself, or in a parlay maybe, USA over 1.5 at minus 163, or for a little bit better, USA to win and over 1.5 team goals would come in at minus 120 odds in the women's Olympic soccer odds for this game. Next up, we have New Zealand and France in women's Olympic soccer group stage play on Wednesday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. For New Zealand, they lost 2-1 to Canada and 2-0 to Colombia. But because of Canada's points deduction, they're still alive to advance, albeit barely, being 4th in the group in Group A, 0 points and a negative 3-point differential. However, they've been outplayed badly in the 2 games so far. Let's look at those stats in those games. Versus Canada, Canada had 61% possession. The shots 22-7, shots on target 9-2. Against Colombia, 65% possession for Colombia. Shots 17-6, shots on target 7-0. Now they'll meet France in this game, the hosts. France jumped out to a 3-0 lead over Colombia on Matchday 1 before seeing Colombia claw back with 2 goals to edge out the 3-2 win for France on Matchday 1. They took a 1-0 lead. Matchday 2, they took a 1-0 lead over Canada, only to see Canada draw level and go on to score the winner in the 102nd minute, deep into stoppage time. Marie Antoinette Katoto has been in top form for Les Bleus. She has 3 goals so far in 2 games. Certainly an option for an anytime goal scorer prop. France are second in Group A, but they could still win the group with a win, and Colombia not beating Canada. Head-to-head, it's been 8 years since these teams last met in the 2016 Olympics, won 3-0 by France. Other results have been 2-1, 5-2 France, and a 1-1 draw all the way further back, but all those games are friendly. Since losing in PKs to Australia in last summer's World Cup, France is now 11-1-4. 3 of those 4 losses, though, have come in 3 of their last 5 most recent games. There's been lots of goals in their games. Both teams scoring over 2.5s on a perfect 6-0 run in France games. They've only not scored 3 times in their last 20. Anything other than a huge shock upset loss to the Ferns should see France through here. I don't see that happening. Let's go France to win by at least 2 goals. France minus 1.5 on the spread. I don't see the odds out for that yet, but at minus 1, I see minus 200, so minus 1.5 to win by 2 should be an okay price. Let's go France, minus 1.5 between France and Australia. Best bets for this game. And finally, one more game on Wednesday. We have Colombia and Canada at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time in women's Olympic soccer action. For Colombia was all over New Zealand last game, 72% possession at halftime. The XG 0.68 to 0.02. And they had a 1-0 lead courtesy of Restrepo in the 27th minute. The shots were 11-3 and 6-1 on target for Colombia at halftime. Now that continued in the second half with Colombia scoring in the 72nd minute from Santos. Final stats in that game, 65% possession, shots 17-6, shots on target 7-0 or 11-1, depending where you look. I see different stats at different websites here. Either way, the stats were all in Colombia's favor. The XG was 1.56 to 0.14. Colombia's Matchday 1 started poor. They were down 3-0 to France, but they did fight back, scoring 2 goals to lose 3-2. For Canada, in the midst of Dronegate, their coach is being suspended and a 6-point deduction. Canada found themselves in need of a win, desperately needing that win last round to have any hopes of staying alive when they met France on Matchday 2. And after a tight half, Katoto found the breakthrough to open the scoring for France late in that first half in the 42nd minute. In the second half, Jessie Fleming had a cross bumbled by the French keeper, laying right in her path to slot in the tying goal. And knowing they needed the win, Canada had to attack. There was 13 minutes of stoppage time in this game. It was almost over when France missed a point-blank shot in the box, saved by Canadian keeper Kaylin Sheridan. With time winding down, Janine Becky traced back, caused a turnover, sent Canada back on the attack. Adriana Leon passed across the box to Heidema. Heidema had a low shot, saved, but rebounded right into the path of Vanessa Gillies, who shot in the winner off the post and in. Canada gets the 2-1 win, and they're still alive. Head-to-head, it's been some time since these nations met, not since the 2015 Pan American Games, but Colombia won 1-0. Canada won 1-0 in a 2012 friendly, and Canada won 2-1 in the 2011 Pan Am Games, so there's really nothing recent and relevant to go off of here between Canada and Colombia. Despite Canada having a matchday 1 win over New Zealand, 2-1, then the win over France last round, the points deduction has them sitting on 0 points and still needing that win to make up that deduction and go through. Canada has appealed the decision though. The decision should be expected before Wednesday's game. But as of now, they still have 0 points despite having 2 wins. So this is a must-win game to even have a chance as one of the 2 third-place teams. As it stands, Australia and Brazil are third in their groups and already have 3 points. France beats New Zealand. Canada beats Colombia. First place Colombia could actually fall all the way down to third on goal differential. So this is a huge game still for both of these teams, not just Canada. Colombia is 8-0-4 in their last 12 now. They've scored in 10 of 12 and also in 7 straight. Canada has only 2 defeats, both of the USA, both in PKs in their last 15, and they've scored a goal in all 15 of those games, including twice in 3 straight games. Now, if we look at those recent score lines, though, for Canada, they have recent score lines of 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 1-1, 2-0, 2-2, 1-1, and 2-2. What's the trend in there? Well, there's a lot of both teams to score bets cashing in those games. That's been the way to go more often than not for Canada in a crucial game. For both teams here on match day 3, I think we see at least a goal from both teams here. So you could go both teams to score at minus 135. I see the best price over at Caesars Sportsbook. Certainly you could try both teams to score and over 2.5 since Canada will have to attack. A draw won't do anything for them. So we could up that and get a better price if you wanted to go both teams to score over 2.5. But we'll make the best bet, just both teams to score minus 135 between Canada and Colombia in this women's Olympic soccer game. Now we have one more final bet here just to talk about. Let's throw together one simple parlay. We can go USA double chance. I don't see them losing against Australia. Australia does not look great. Germany to score over 2.5 goals, so that's 3 or more. Zambia has been leaking goals all over the place. And France to score over 1.5 goals. They should put up 2 at least against New Zealand. We can get that simple looking parlay at plus 104 odds. That will wrap up my women's Olympic soccer match day 3 picks in this group stage. But what do you see happening? Share your picks for Wednesday, who you see advancing, anything that you like for your bets in women's soccer down there in the comments. Be sure to give this video a like on your way out, and best of luck.